Good morning, everybody. Are you ready for block 6? All right. First thing I'm going to tell you is um there's two sets of 4 blocks, okay? And it's very confusing if you don't lay them out because it's the same block just done 2 separate directions. Let me show you what I mean. So here are the 2 blocks. Make sure you lay them out. You're going to do 4 sets of block A and 4 sets of block B. I mean, 4 blocks A and 4 blocks B. Lay them out so you don't get confused. Because if you do 5 of one of the blocks and 3 of the other block, you're going to have a problem. They're not going to lay in the quilt in the correct layout. All right. Yeah. It's a little confusing. It's a simple block, but if you don't do them correctly, you won't be able to put them, one and one, because they won't lay correctly. Hopefully that makes sense. So we have 8 blocks this week, but they're 2 different layouts. So it's 4 of one layout and 4 of the other layout. Okay. Here is the blocks. So see how I have it laid out? I would do 4 laid out like this and 4 in the other layout, and make sure, just like I told you last week, as you work on the blocks, lay it back down. Work on this part, lay it back down. So you have your layout consistently. Okay. Half square triangle. I'm not going to go over that. That is the traditional method of half square triangles. A solid block, a 4 patch, and then this 3 patch here. So it's real simple. I mean, I'm going to start with this one. There's nothing to line up. I'm enjoying this quilt. It is very relaxing and fun. As long as you keep the blocks straight, you'll be good. I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. I am loving how it's coming out. All right. I am ironing this one towards the flat piece on top. We got so much in this week. We got 3 or 4 patterns that came in this week. We got the Lego sewing machine that came in this week. And I definitely want to, once the holidays are over, I'm going to take a look at that poinsettia pattern. Um, Hold on, let me go grab it real quick. Give me a second. Oh, so I'm really excited about this one. Let me do it this way. Okay. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I want to take my time after Christmas and look at it really well. They're calling for a tool, and you know me, I'm not into buying extra rulers if I don't need them. Once I take a look at this, I'm pretty sure that we can use the Studio 180 Wedge Star. This is the smaller one, but I also have the larger one, Wedge Star. So I'm pretty sure, because all it requires is a 60-degree ruler, I believe. So I'm thinking we can use this one to do this quilt. But like I said, after Christmas, I'm going to look at it and then we'll decide. But isn't it pretty? I'm thinking, I mean, yes, you can do it red poinsettias or pink poinsettias or white. I'm thinking of doing white and teal for myself, or white and blue. But this is a next year problem, not this year. So that I have some time because there's no way I'm going to get it done for this year. Okay. Here's the block that we just did. Now I'm going to do the 4 patch, and it's really simple. I have 2 matching squares here, so I ironed my seams towards those matching squares so that I could line them up. So the seams will butt right up against each other. The top seam is going to the right, the bottom seam is going towards the left. I put my pin on an angle so that I can start up here and come down, stop with my seam, my needle in the seam in the down position before I take my pin out. Sometimes just the idea of taking the pin out is enough to mess up your seam and misalign it. So I found that stopping with the pin down in your needle down in the seam before you actually take the pin out helps hold it in place. Needle down. Now I can take the pin out. Got the hiccups today. So this one here, I am going to actually pinwheel my seams, and once in a while, make it easier, and just cut one through so that when I pull it like that, still got a couple seams, just a little bit. That way, when I pull it and iron it, it'll be nice and flat, and these seams will go in opposite directions. I have been super busy this week. We got a lot of orders packaged, and I've been making candles for gifts and organizing my house, getting it ready for the influx of a ton of people. And fun. Yep. I've been wrapping gifts every night. Every night getting gifts. I don't have too much more to do. I think I have maybe 10 gifts, 10 more to wrap, and that's it. But I'm getting there slowly but surely. So I laid this one back down, and it's real important, one, that the point for the half square triangle has this fabric matching here and has a nice diagonal. So you've got the same, and these two are the same. Just lay it out and go slow. Really, just go slow and you'll be fine. There's nothing to match here. So I'm just gonna sew down my seam. And make sure I lift my foot so that it doesn't sew my seam up in the opposite direction. All right. Um, I'm gonna iron towards the half square triangle because I'm gonna iron this seam this way. That way they'll butt up against each other. It's coming along. Slowly but surely. There's nothing difficult about this quilt, really, so far. It's just trying to keep all the blocks straight. I highly recommend having a design wall if you can, because it's much easier to keep it all in the right spot. Okay, now this one again, there's nothing to match. We're just gonna sew them. I do sew them with this block on top so I can make sure that this seam doesn't sew the wrong direction. You spend all that time ironing your seams and making everything nice and neat. You don't want to, at this point, to start messing them up and sewing them in the wrong direction. Okay. So we're going to lay this back down. I'm going to iron the seam towards the solid part. All right. Now we only have one seam to worry about lining up. And that's this one. Now, if you're afraid of cutting your point on this half square triangle, then you can iron these seams in the opposite direction. So iron this one this way, and I'll do that for you here just so that you can see to make it a little bit easier on you. If you have problems with cutting off your points, iron these two seams in the opposite direction. The only part about this pattern that I don't like is it doesn't give you the directions on where to press your seams. Okay, so we still have our same block. By ironing the seams in the opposite direction, this is going to give you an X right here. When you sew, you want to make sure you're on the top side of that X. That way you won't cut the points off. So I'm going to line them back up again. And then we'll sew it. So there's my X. And I'm going to have sew it with just a thread width on the right side of that X. Pin down in my seam, take out my pin, readjust. Oops. Let's iron it. And ironing, gonna go right here. So I don't think it matters which side. At the end, when we start putting the quilts together with all the blocks, um, we may have to re-iron some of these seams to line everything up, which again is my biggest pet peeve. I love the look of this pattern, but not having a clear direction as far as where all the seams should be as you're going is going to hurt later on. Okay, there it is. And see what happens when you have the two different layouts go together. You're going to get these two touching here. You're going to get a continuous line of this fabric here. And then this is going to mirror like bookends on this section. All right. Now, excuse me, I'm a little sore. I had some knee issues this week, so my legs aren't working really well. Okay, block 7, we are making 8, and they're all 8 is the same block. There is no different layout. And it is a version of a log cabin. So it's, again, a very simple block. The biggest issue with this one we're going to find is making sure we keep everything lined up and it looks nice and even. Now, I'm going to give you a heads up. I'm planning on doing this class next Saturday, but I have family coming in. So I'm going to probably do another video recorded sometime during the week just to make sure it's posted. But you never know what's going to happen. All right, that's it for this week. On to block 7. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and post any comments if you have any issues or questions or anything like that. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.